That's exactly right. A good Erev Shabbos. Good Erev Shabbos Parshas VaYigash. Thank you very, very much. Ashchenu ma'atei v'chalakenu. Baruch Hashem, we're approaching another amazing parsha. The parshas of Yosef and his brothers are about to conclude, unfortunately. They're going to go end. Somebody came over to me and said, next week is Chazak. Yeah, next week is Chazak. It's over. Sefer Bereshis is over. You have to chazer it and review it a million, billion, zillion times to be able to internalize everything that goes on in this week's parsha, to be able to understand what's going on here. I want to talk about one specific thing, a small idea, very short, quick, to the point idea. This week's parsha starts out with Yosef still being super duper undercover. He's undercover. He's got a whole beard situation going on. Nobody could tell it's Yosef. They cannot figure it out. He was hiding under his alias. You know what his undercover name was? Tzafnas Paneach. That was his secret superhero name. So he's hiding as Tzafnas Paneach. Nobody knows who he is. And suddenly he reveals himself to his brothers. And he says famously, Ani Yosef, oid avichai. I am Yosef, is my father still alive? Okay, he reveals himself. The brothers are shocked out of their wits. They're totally afraid. They start having, sometimes a person sings a song. They sing like a song from Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur time. They do a tune. Or even Marakayan. People use Marakayan as a tune on Shabbos. And they do that too. I hate it. I hate it when they do that, even though it's a beautiful song. But because it brings me straight back to Yom Kippur. I'm not ready for Yom Kippur. It's a lot of months away. Give me time. When the brothers saw Yosef revealing himself, they came back to Yom Kippur. They started thinking, oh no, we're being judged. Oh no, what are we going to do? Oh no, we have to do tshuva. It was very scary. Okay, so the brothers hear this, and Yosef tells them, Pasuk, hey, and this is what I want to focus on. Pasuk says, Yosef says, V'ata, and now, Al ti'atzavu, do not be sad, do not be depressed, do not be down. Always nice to say that to a good friend, by the way. Somebody is down, depressed, say to them, don't be sad, and give them good reasons for that. And he gives his brothers a good reason for it. He says, don't be unhappy the fact that you sold me down here. Yeah? Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent me down to Egypt to support all of you. That's why I'm here. It's not because you sold me into slavery. It's not because you were mean, horrible, terrible big brothers. Rather, the reason, Eli, that I'm here right now is because HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent me here to support you. Ki lemichya shelachani Aleichem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Elokim Lifneichem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent me here to support you. And don't be unhappy about it. Don't get worked up about it. I am here to support you. That's a powerful thing. Sometimes it's a good thing, first as a musar. It's a good thing for people to think. A person thinks, these guys were so mean to me. These guys were so horrible to me. Nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with you, it's nothing to do with me. These people were agents of Hashem. Don't get mad at them. Hashem has a big plan for you. I was listening, this week, on the last day of Hanukkah, Zeis Hanukkah, was the day of the release of prison of Reb Shalom Mordechai Rabashkin. Zol Gesundsein, what a special, special, special person. You guys don't really remember much about this, but when Rabashkin, before he was in prison for 8 years. Shocking, 8 years. When he was in prison, Rabbi Rabashkin was in prison for 8 years. What did we know? We knew that he was a guy who had Aaron's Rabashkin's meats out in somewhere in Iowa. We didn't know much. And Nebuch, the guy, got caught up in something. We knew nothing. And the person who came out of prison that we've seen since then, unbelievable. Mamish, a person that you could listen to every word that he says and learn so much from. And I was listening to 2 speeches from him. I listened to one just now, and I listened to one right when he came out of prison. 4 days after he came out of prison, he gave a big speech, or as he calls it, the place called prison. Yeah, I was listening to him speak. And one of the things he kept saying that, and his take on it, is that we know there's something called emunah, and there's something called bitachon. Emunah and bitachon. What is emunah and bitachon? And his way of saying it is emunah is the recognition that whatever happened to you could not have happened any other way. It had to be that way. It's the best thing for you, the way that things turned out. And bitachon, the way he said it, was in my future. I have total, absolute faith and security in Hashem taking care of me in any way that he can. There's nothing Hashem can't do. And if I rely on Hashem to take care of me, he can do anything. But emunah is on my past. What did Hashem do for me? That's the best possible way. And as Yosef is standing here in Mitzrayim and he tells his brothers, and he was away from his family for 22 years, and he's locked in a prison. We have no idea how difficult Yosef's life was. Yosef was in concentration camp for 22 years. We have no idea what that was like. We don't know what that was like. And yet he tells his brothers, don't be angry, don't be sad. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent me down here to be supported, to support you. That's why I'm here. I'm here to take care of everybody. I have no concern about it in the world. Total emunah in recognizing this is the way it had to be, and I have no regrets. Powerful, like a shocking thing that Yosef is able to say that. Are you able to say that about things that happened in your life? I got into a fight with this person. Somebody started up with me the other day. I got hit by a car. I was driving my scooter. My scooter got stolen. All that type of stuff. It had to happen exactly like that. Ki leblank shalachani alekim lefneichem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent me for that specific reason to do that specific thing. Okay, that's one thing. I want to take a separate point, and that's really what I want to focus on. Last night, I got a phone call. My wonderful, exceptional, amazing brother runs a kollel for some people who are religious, some people who are not religious. It's a mix of people, and it's a kollel, and they really work on a specific learning topic every Thursday night, and it's very, very beautiful. The only one not beautiful thing is that periodically, when I'm not there, I don't go to it. I live in Lakewood. He comes here. It's in Brooklyn. And periodically, I get a phone call from my brother, and what he does is he says, oh, hey, somebody has a question for you, here it is. And then he makes me talk to whomever it is that he did not want to talk to. And then I have to now deal with that person's, on surface level, Torah, question, proof, Judaism, Christianity, whatever it is, I have to now deal with that when the person's really a psychological issue. Okay, whatever it is. I'm not saying anybody watching out, the person who's on the conversation with me, I love you as your wonderful, exceptional person who might be listening. Okay. But I get this phone call. And this person asks a question. And the basis of his question is pretty much, and if that's true, which it wasn't true, whatever that was, if that's true, then really what is the difference between Jews and Christians? Right? It's like this. Don't Jews have to look both ways before they cross the street? Don't Christians have to look both ways before they cross the street? Jews and Christians must be exactly the same! So why do you always make such big differences? That's pretty much the line of reasoning that this fellow had. And after 27 minutes of this, and the guy not understanding at all what I was trying to explain, I was being very nice about it. I was really, oh no, I don't know, maybe I do, I don't know, that's interesting, could be, I don't know. But maybe then you'll realize that this is all ridiculous. After all of that, I said, why do you automatically go back to this point, the difference between Jews and Christians? You know how little of my day I spend on thinking about Christians or non-Jews? Zero of my day. I lived life totally not in contrast to compare myself, but am I better than a Christian? Who cares? I'm thinking, am I better than some sheikhs on the street? Like, what difference in my life does that make? I have no insecurity, no religious insecurity. I need to go out there to be able to go up to some sheikhs. Do you know how geschmack Rashi is, young man? And he's like, oh, I'll tell you the truth. I never thought about it. Pastor Paul never brought up Rashi. And I, no, let me tell you, Rashi is smarter than anyone you got. Okay, and why do I care? I have no religious insecurity that requires me to go find it anywhere in the world, to go convince any non-Jews out there of anything. My personal brothers, my religious Jewish brothers, my irreligious Jewish brothers, of course I care. I have a mitzvah in the Torah. I love every Jew. A Jew shouldn't chas v'shalom be left out. So here I am to take care of everyone as much as I can. But some guy out there, why does it make a difference to me? If a person comes to the Jewish faith, they're my brother. That's a different story. But if a person doesn't, sayonara. What difference does it make? I have no insecurities that require me, like a Christian, to go out and be a missionary for other people. Okay, that's what I tried to explain to him. And then I said to him, and if you're going to tell me about no differences, let me just Have you ever heard of Hatzalah? Have you ever heard of Hatzalah? Now, I went to the store right now, and I got this book. It's called Let's Meet Community Helpers. It's a great book. I was reading it. It's so riveting. It's such an attractive, wonderful book written by an amazing, amazing person that I know. And just an amazing, amazing book. I want to read this book to you. I want to read this book. It says, it always makes me feel so good to meet the helpers in my neighborhood. Should I read it like this? It always makes me feel so good. And then she goes, Mommy says I can open the door. It's the mail carrier I've been waiting for. And there's the mailman. He always delivers the mail. There's the policeman. So special. Fireman. He's very brave. And the fire pole. It's so much fun to go down the fire pole. Yeah. And then there's the ambulance. It's rushing past with its siren at full blast. Ambulance drivers must be quick to help someone who's hurt or sick. Very good. There you go. You should write this book. I think the crossing guard I meet, who helps us safely cross the street. In the street, walk, don't run. That's a rule for everyone. Very, very good. And it keeps going. The garbage collector, right? The bus driver. It goes through everybody. You guys can read this later. It goes through the guy who cleans the parks. And then the last part of the book, Hakaris HaToiv. Let's see the good these workers do in our neighborhood. Thank you. They help us in ways both big and small, and I make sure to thank them all. Exactly right. Our community helpers. I decided to go check. I never thought about this. Is there a non-Jewish version of Chaverim? Now, Hatzalah, there's none. I knew that. There's no non-Jewish version of Hatzalah. Of course, you might say there's a volunteer ambulance company, like if you would go to Pomona, Kansas, so then they don't have enough people to run the local ambulance company, so they would have a volunteer ambulance service. They get paid sometimes, they get paid by the hour, whatever it is, they show up, and otherwise there'd be no one there saving people's lives. Okay, there is such a concept to that, but the idea of Hatzalah as an organization where people stay up late at night or do not go to sleep at all, and all the 1,700 members in all Brooklyn Hatzalahs, and that doesn't even count Hatzalah in the Five Towns, and Hatzalah in Faraco, and Hatzalah in Lakewood, and Hatzalah in Passaic, and Hatzalah in Muncie, and Hatzalah in Florida, and Hatzalah in California, and Hatzalah in Montreal. Hatzalah's all over. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Only people in the world who have Hatzalah is the Jewish people. No, not a single other people in the world even thought about it. What is this? You're a free volunteer ambulance company? So how much do you get paid? How much do I get paid? What do you mean? Like, I don't get paid. Why would I get paid for that? But Chaverim, I always thought is the best. Chaverim, I thought is the best. Because you have Hatzalah. What does Hatzalah do? Hatzalah saves someone's life. They must get a real kick out of that. You know, this person walking around, you know this person exists because you saved their life. Their children that come out of them is because I saved the parent's life. That must be an incredible high that you get from that. Of course, they don't do it for that high. They do it because they're a yid who saves people's lives. But there is a little tiny bit of shlo d'shmana you get from that. But chaverim, what? I'm going to see that Lexus driving past while I'm driving up in a 1993 Honda Civic, and I'm going to go fix the guy's Lexus, and the next time I see, that Lexus, that LX 470, that was me. I was the one who changed that tire because that lazy, good-for-nothing snob, Zakheim, does not know how to change a tire, so therefore I should go up and change it. Chaverim, unbelievable chesed. And you have an alternative. If Chaverim didn't exist, we existed at a time when Chaverim didn't exist. When Chaverim didn't exist, you'd call a tow truck, you would call AAA, and you'd be paying a lot of money for that service. But right now, I don't even know the number for any of those. I know Chaverim's number. I would most likely call AAA and ask them if they have Chaverim's number, so be able to get Chaverim, then AAA. And Chaverim, they're all over. I was once driving with Yeshiva. Yeshiva went once to Top Golf. We went to Top Golf, and some wonderful, special individual had left an enormous hammer in the middle of the road. An enormous hammer. I drove straight over that hammer. It went right into my tire. It was gewaldig. Okay, I have no idea how to change a tire. I did learn once, and I know that you're all going to be jealous and very proud and wondering why I'm showing this off. I did learn once how to put in the cleaning, the fluid for the windshield wiper. I know. I know. I will also confess that I did learn once how to change the battery also. I did. I took out the battery, I put it back. I don't know if it ended up working, but I did take it out and put it back in. Either way, but I got this hole in my tire. We call Chaverim. This is now Chaverim, where this is near Edison, New Jersey. But a guy came from Passaic because he had been driving down the New Jersey Turnpike. So he came off, and the guy is still in his work clothing. He comes over to the side of the car, and he takes off my wheel, and he does the whole thing, and he says, at the end, here's an envelope. We're required to give these envelopes out if you'd like to make a donation. If not, it's on you. But nobody cares. Yeah? And the guy simply takes care of you. It's such an insanity. These Jews are nuts. They're nuts for chesed. They're nuts for chesed. You have hundreds and hundreds of members of Chaverim. It's spread all over the globe. There's actually two competing organizations now. There's Chaverim, there's Chavivim. You have two organizations for it. Because if there's one thing Jews want more competition is in the chesed industry. We're all competing to do it more for free. I want to do it for free. No, I want to do it for free. Okay, we'll fight it out. Such a people we get to be a part of. You read this book, it's the best Mussar Sefer. Because you know what? You read these type of things, they're like, oh, thank the bus driver. But guess what? You know that there are free Jewish buses in some places? Simply a guy drives back and forth in a van just to be able to give people rides. Back and forth from hospitals. You don't need to get Accessoride. You can call a guy and he will drive people back and forth from the hospital for free. Yeah, you can keep going. A garbage collector, that much, I don't think the Jews are ready for that. But you have free lending libraries. Yeah, don't go to the Brooklyn Public Library. Okay, they have some good books. They have over there. But you can go to a nice frum family, and many of them, come to my house. In Lakewood, where I live, there's a doctor there. His name is Dr. Shanik. Dr. Shanik, he's the busiest person on planet Earth. Busiest person on planet Earth. He is so busy. When people come to see him in Dr. Shanik's office, he's a pediatrician. When people come to see him, he literally is able to diagnose. I hope he is. He's able to diagnose in about 8 seconds. 8 seconds. He goes like this, flu, no, this, he's in his 8 seconds. But in his house, in Dr. Shanik's house, he has an enormous library. The whole entire Lakewood. My wife goes every single Friday to Dr. Shanik's library, and you can take as many books as you want, as much as you want, go into the house for free. On Friday, his house is busy, and upstairs is Mrs. Shanik. Mrs. Shanik, she's upstairs. She takes care of people. She takes care of families. She takes care of Yisraelim. She has a separate place upstairs for people to come into the house. And that's besides all the chesed. And he's a doctor. You know how many people he sees for free? And this is just one person in one town. The Jewish people are unbelievable. Somebody calls me up last night and says, well, what's the difference? You want me to start giving you differences? Go buy Ricky Benenfeld's book and then go see that all of these community services, Jews do them all for free. I once asked my father. My father was one of the first members of Flatbush Hatzalah. He was the first paramedic. I said to my father, what was it like before there was Hatzalah? Before the Hatzalah, we don't know a world without Hatzalah. You see a Hatzalah ambulance, Hatzalah cars, 5 Hatzalah guys answer a call. They're all around. What was it like before Hatzalah? Minimum, if a person got anything, a heart attack, car accident, minimum 20 minutes. Minimum 20 minutes before medical response. Minimum. So I said to my father, okay, so you guys got EMTs. Now, originally, the old Hatzalah, this Chashav Yid, who started Hatzalah, originally what they had is an oxygen tank. That's all he knew how to do. He knew how to take an oxygen tank, put it on a person, and give him air. That was the max. Then they got EMTs. Great, but EMTs can't administer medicine. If a person's literally dying of a heart attack out on the street, there's not much you could do for that. So I asked my father, before they had paramedics, my father was the first Hatzalah paramedic. I asked him, before they had paramedics, what did they do? So he said, Hatzalah would get a call. So dispatcher, this is exactly the time. This guy is on the road, car accident. Somebody runs out to a payphone, no cell phones, runs to a payphone, picks up the phone, dials Hatzalah's number. Hatzalah's dispatcher, which, whatever, Hatzalah didn't really have a base, it was in my father's office. Hatzalah dispatcher, there's 3 people in my father's office. My father, his partner, in the middle was the dispatcher. That was the dispatcher. So Hatzalah dispatcher would say, hi, what's the emergency? They'd say, I don't know, someone's having a heart attack over here in the middle of King's Highway. Okay, we'll send somebody. Dispatcher now calls Hatzalah guy. Hatzalah guy can't answer this call because he's not a paramedic. So what does he have to do? Not only they call a Hatzalah guy, they need to also call a doctor. So Hatzalah guy now needs to drive to a doctor, pick up the doctor, bring the doctor from wherever he is back to King's Highway to be able to deal with this call. And with all of that, faster than the city was saving people at 20 minutes. Hatzalah was still getting there faster. Driving there. Now the Hatzalah response time is, we know, there's a great book on it. What's the name of the book? 90 seconds. 90 seconds. Average Hatzalah response time, 90 seconds. It's unbelievable. That's 90 seconds. That's before the most dangerous part of a person even getting a heart attack. If you can if we get to a person within 90 seconds of a heart attack, you can save the guy. 20 minutes later, the guy's brain dead. His grandchildren are brain dead by that point. It's unbelievable. Hatzalah, Chaverim. We have a person here in Yeshiva whose father is part of Shemrim. All these are just going out there and saving lives. Driving people back and forth in the hospital, volunteering. I have a great aunt. Until she was 90-something years old, she was still volunteering for free in Maimonides, and not just her. All the old ladies who didn't have much to do at home, they volunteer in Maimonides and help out on the maternity ward of Maimonides to take care of the babies for free. Because if I have some life left in me, if I have some time, then why can't I use it to go save some lives? What is the difference between the Jewish people and other people? Are you crazy? That's our people. That's this pasuk, Kilam Michya Shalachani Elakim Lefnechem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put me in this world to help take care of you, and 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 to support all of us. That's amazing. You joining Hatzalah? Yeah, do you want to? You do. Want to save a life. Yeah, given enough time. I'm curious, given enough time. Who here would want to join Hatzalah? There you go, you want to join Hatzalah. What about Chaverim? You want to join Chaverim? You know how to take care of a car? You want to join Chaverim? Shemrim? You want to join Shemrim? Yeah. Find an opportunity. You have a car. You're able to drive people around. People are getting licenses. You're able to give people, obviously be safe about it. Don't give the wrong people a ride. You'll be able to help people. And if you're not joining any of those, you could join a special group of people called people who open up doors for other people. Special group. Not locksmiths. People who open doors for other people. Somebody's about to go through the door, I'll open the door for you. Not only just one door. I'm not Yaitse with one door. I'm not a one-door type of guy. When there's two doors out there, I want to open up both. Somebody told me, a Talmud of mine told me, he was going into a certain institution, and what he'd do, he tried to get in, but there's a guy right in front of him. He was skinny, so he slid out through two double doors. He was able to do it and left three people outside waiting for the door to be opened because he was able to skinny his way through a door. He got straight through. He was able to get out. Don't be part of that group. Kadosh Baruch Hu put me here to support you. I'm here to take care of you. I'm here to help you. I am part of Hatzalah of the doors. I am part of Hatzalah of finding you food. I'm part of Hatzalah of seeing whether you had lunch money today, and when you don't, I'm going to figure out a way to adjust that, whether it means going to a Rebbe or going to my friend or going to my pocket and saying, hey, I wouldn't mind going out with you today. I actually have some extra money. Why don't I get you something? I actually bought two for myself. How crazy I was today. I bought 2 hot dogs for myself. I can never eat more than one. I got 4 bagels today from Brooklyn Bagel Hole. I can't afford from Brooklyn Bagel. That would be like the whole salary. But 4 bagels from Bagel Hole. I got 4. Usually I get 2 everything bagels toasted with butter. Today, I happen to get 4. I usually get 3, 4 Snapples. Today I got 8. I can hook you up. I'm here to take care of you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to be here to help others. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to be a Hatzalah guy. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to be a community helper. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to be a community helper. And we're going to have a big book in Shemayim. And the whole book in Shemayim is going to be, let's meet Eli. And it's going to be, Eli does this, and Eli does that. And it's going to have a whole book full of all the beautiful things that Eli does, and Gabriel does, and Shmuel does, and Yoel does. And it has a whole book of that. It's going to be much fatter than this book. If this was any fatter, it would have been more expensive. That's too expensive for me. Either way, I at least know what I'm going to be reading on Shabbos. Everyone should have a beautiful Shabbos full of happiness, health, and tons of community helpers as Hashem.